On a quiet night in June 2013, in a bustling Walmart in Jacksonville, Florida, a tragedy unfolded that would haunt an entire community. As the minutes passed, unnoticed in the busy store, an 8-year-old girl named Cherish Periwinkle disappeared, never to return home. Her sudden disappearance left the city shaken and serves as a haunting reminder to millions of parents about the lurking dangers even in seemingly safe spaces. That evening, Cherish's mother, Rain Periwinkle, took her daughter shopping. Among the crowded aisles and under the bright store lights, a stranger approached them, a man who seemed friendly, even generous, offering to help buy items for her children. The man's words seemed genuine, and in a moment of trust, Rain accepted his help. But she had no way of knowing that this choice would lead to an unimaginable nightmare. Sometimes, life places us in situations where our instincts and trust are tested and exploited. With a simple, casual invitation, "Shall we get some hamburgers at McDonald's?" the stranger led young Cherish away, down a path no one could have foreseen. What began as an innocent encounter quickly turned dark, drawing us into a story filled with tension, dread, and heartache. Join us as we delve into this tragic tale, a story of misplaced trust, parental instincts, and a powerful warning about hidden dangers that often go unnoticed. This is not just Cherish's story, but a cautionary tale that reminds us all of the silent threats lurking in our everyday lives. When Rain Periwinkle realized her daughter Cherish was missing from the Walmart store, she immediately entered a state of panic. She called 911, her voice filled with desperation and fear, reporting that her daughter had been led away by a stranger and was now nowhere to be found. During the call, Rain recounted how she had met the man earlier at a Dollar General store, where he had offered to help buy her children some clothes. The man had even assured her that his wife would be joining them soon, which had made Rain feel more comfortable accepting his help. However, Cherish's sudden disappearance sent shockwaves through her, and she realized she had placed her trust in the wrong person. As soon as Rain's call reached the Jacksonville police, officers quickly arrived on the scene, beginning their search and reviewing security footage. They discovered that Cherish had indeed left the store with the man Rain had described, a critical piece of evidence in unraveling the events. The security footage showed the man leading Cherish through Walmart's exit, a sight that immediately intensified the urgency among the police. Time was now against them, and they understood that every second was vital in finding Cherish before it was too late. Hours after the initial report, law enforcement issued an Amber Alert, an emergency alert system activated in cases of child abduction. The alert included descriptions of Cherish, the suspicious man, and his white van. Through the Amber Alert, the police were able to quickly disseminate information to thousands of residents in the area, hoping that someone would recognize the situation and report any suspicious activity. Simultaneously, the police began investigating the identity of the suspect. They soon identified him as Donald James Smith, a registered sex offender with an extensive criminal record. Chillingly, they learned that Smith had only recently been released from prison. The disturbing reality of Smith's dangerous past heightened the urgency of the search, pushing law enforcement to commit every available resource to the task. With every passing minute, the risk to Cherish's life increased, and finding her became a race against time. Law enforcement understood that this was not merely a mission to locate a missing child, but a battle to rescue a life from a man capable of heinous acts. As investigators pieced together the clues surrounding the disappearance of young Cherish Periwinkle, they quickly zeroed in on the primary suspect, Donald James Smith. Through extensive background checks, they discovered that Smith had a long and disturbing criminal history, especially concerning offenses against children. Donald James Smith, a 56-year-old man, had been arrested more than 20 times, with charges that included theft, fraud, possession of illegal substances, child assault, and even attempted kidnapping. What made this situation even more alarming was that Smith had only recently been released from prison, just weeks prior to Cherish's disappearance. The most recent charge on his record involved a case where Smith attempted to impersonate an agent from the Department of Child Services, aiming to lure a young girl away from her grandmother. This revelation underscored the grave danger Cherish was in if Smith was indeed involved. prompting investigators to work tirelessly to locate her before it was too late. Upon reviewing surveillance footage from the Walmart, investigators saw chilling evidence of Smith's interactions with Cherish and her family. In the video, he was seen near Cherish, eventually leading her out of the store while her mother remained distracted, shopping with her two other young children. Smith's behavior was calculated. He had gained the family's trust through seemingly generous gestures, like offering to buy them items and inviting them to dine together. This strategy of appearing friendly and helpful was likely designed to lower the family's guard, allowing him to isolate Cherish. As investigators continued their pursuit, they grew increasingly alarmed at the lengths Smith went to avoid capture. During the manhunt, police observed Smith driving his white van in a suspicious, evasive manner, navigating through isolated back roads, possibly trying to obscure his trail. Along the route, they discovered items belonging to Cherish, including a blue stroller left behind, suggesting that Smith was attempting to dispose of evidence and cover his tracks. Donald James Smith's dark history and his brazen actions on the night of Cherish's disappearance sent a wave of fear through the community, intensifying law enforcement's resolve to capture this dangerous individual. Smith, a repeat offender with a record of child-related crimes spanning decades, had once again crossed the line into unimaginable harm, transforming from a long-standing threat into the prime suspect in a case that left the entire nation shaken. Throughout the investigation into the disappearance of Cherish Periwinkle, the behavior and attitude of her mother, Rain Periwinkle, raised significant concerns for the police. When Rain called 911 to report her daughter missing, her tone lacked the expected panic or intense worry that one might anticipate from a parent in such a situation. Instead, she appeared strangely calm, prompting investigators to question whether there was something more behind this heartbreaking incident. During the call with the police, Rain focused on details that were not directly relevant to locating her daughter, such as her shopping experience at Dollar General and Walmart, even mentioning a blue stroller she had left in the suspect's van. Some details she shared puzzled the officers, especially as she matter-of-factly mentioned the possibility that her daughter might have been attacked or even killed. Her words, however, came across without any sign of emotional distress, which would typically be expected in a mother fearing for her child's safety. The investigators noted that although Rain acknowledged the likelihood that Cherish was in danger, her expression and tone did not reveal the fear or pain one would anticipate from a parent facing such a terrifying situation. She did not cry or display visible signs of grief, leading the officers to wonder if she was concealing something or if there might be another reason behind her apparent detachment. Additionally, another troubling detail emerged. Rain expressed frustration about Cherish's planned flight to California the next morning to visit her father. When police questioned her about whether this incident was somehow connected to her desire to prevent Cherish from leaving, she denied it, but her response left the officers with lingering doubts. Rain Periwinkle's odd behavior and detached responses not only intensified the police's suspicions, but also complicated the investigation process. While officers worked urgently to find Cherish, the mother's indifferent attitude and inconsistent statements made the search more challenging, raising major questions about what lay behind this tragic disappearance. Her lack of visible fear or concern created obstacles in the investigation, leaving the detectives grappling with whether they were seeing the whole truth or only part of a deeply disturbing story.
But before, continue subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to stay updated when we publish new content for your spiritual growth.
The investigation reached a critical point as the police intensified their search for Cherish Periwinkle after she was last seen with a stranger, Donald James Smith, leaving a Walmart. Analyzing security footage and identifying Smith's white van, authorities issued an Amber Alert, expanding their search across Jacksonville. The next morning, a call reporting a suspicious white van parked in dense bushes near Highlands Baptist Church immediately drew officers to the area, hoping to find Cherish. Upon arrival, they located a white van matching the suspect's description. However, Cherish was nowhere to be found inside. Chillingly, they found personal belongings believed to be Cherish's, including a pink headband, purple sandals, and a blue pushcart, all items known to belong to her. These items were a stark indication that Smith had been near the area with Cherish in recent hours. Further investigation around the location led the police to notice tire tracks, which trailed toward a small creek nearby. Following these tracks, officers pushed deeper into the dense undergrowth surrounding the creek, where they made the heartbreaking discovery of Cherish's body lying partially submerged in the cold water. The autopsy would later confirm that Cherish had been assaulted before being tragically killed, a revelation that struck both the investigation team and the community with indescribable grief. This discovery marked a pivotal shift, turning the case from a missing persons search to a high-profile homicide investigation. The forensic evidence collected at the scene, including DNA samples, was meticulously analyzed, and it was soon confirmed that Donald James Smith was the perpetrator. This shocking discovery not only extinguished any remaining hope of finding Cherish alive, but also sparked a wave of sorrow and outrage within the community. People were horrified by Smith's brutal actions and demanded justice for Cherish. This case underscored the importance of child safety, becoming a stern reminder of the threats posed by predators in society. Donald James Smith, the suspect in the tragic case of Cherish Periwinkle, has a long and alarming criminal history spanning over 3 decades, with multiple offenses related to crimes against children. His record includes 20 arrests, featuring charges that range from assault and endangerment of minors to attempted abduction. Smith's history shows a consistent pattern of dangerous behavior, especially toward vulnerable individuals, revealing a disregard for the law and community safety. Disturbingly, just 21 days before Cherish's disappearance, Smith had been released from prison after serving time for impersonating a Child Protective Services agent to lure a young child. This offense demonstrates his predatory nature and willingness to use deceitful tactics to approach his victims. The fact that Smith was released, despite his dark and dangerous history, sparked public outrage and raised questions about the effectiveness of monitoring high-risk offenders after their release. The details of Smith's past not only highlight his dangerous character, but also serve as a stark reminder of the gaps in protecting public safety, especially for children. His criminal history underscores the critical need for more robust measures to monitor individuals who pose a significant threat to society. The trial of Donald James Smith for the abduction and murder of young Cherish Periwinkle took place in February 2018, capturing widespread public attention due to the brutality and severity of the crime. At court, critical evidence included a recorded confession from Smith to an undercover officer posing as an inmate, where he expressed disturbing thoughts and intentions. Additionally, security camera footage from a Walmart showed leaving the store with Cherish on the night she disappeared, which was presented to the jury. Prosecutors built their case not only on visual evidence and testimony, but also on Smith's extensive criminal history, which involved repeated offenses against children in the past. This background painted a clear and troubling picture of the defendant's dangerous nature, further supporting the prosecution's case. Cherish's family members were present to offer emotional testimonies about the profound loss and pain they endured. After hearing all the evidence and arguments from both the prosecution and defense, the jury reached a unanimous verdict in just 19 minutes. Donald James Smith was found guilty of kidnapping, assault, and murder in the highest degree. The court subsequently sentenced Smith to death, transferring him to Florida's Union Correctional Institution, where he awaits execution. This verdict and sentence not only served as a powerful declaration of justice for Cherish, but also acted as a stark warning about the threats posed by individuals with histories of offenses against children. The death sentence was viewed by many as a fair and decisive punishment, reaffirming the community's commitment to protecting other children from similar dangers in the future. After the tragic incident, Cherish Periwinkle's family endured a level of shock and grief that words could scarcely capture. The loss of young Cherish left an endless void in the hearts of her mother and loved ones, Cherish's mother, Rain Periwinkle, not only faced the unbearable sorrow of losing her daughter, but also dealt with a wave of public criticism for her decision to trust a stranger. The pressures from the media and the public intensified the family's pain, making the path to healing seem even more distant.